where you find out. News Talk KVNU 610 AM and 102.1 FM.
KVNU News Time is 5:05. I'm Bill Walter with this news update brought to you by U&I Furniture. A 25-year-old Smithfield man has been sentenced to less than 2 weeks in jail for sexually assaulting a woman a year ago. Gabriel Hanrion was originally arrested in May 2020 after a warrant was issued for his arrest. Hanrion was sentenced in First District Court Monday afternoon. He previously accepted a plea deal, pleading guilty to an amended count of sexual battery, a Class A misdemeanor. Hanrion was originally charged with unlawful sexual activity with a minor after the victim, a 17-year-old girl, reported being raped by Hanrion. The two were co-workers at a local restaurant. Judge Angela Fonsbeck said there was no question that what Hanrion did was wrong, and she angrily told him, unless you hear the words yes, you don't do what you did. Hanrion was sentenced to serve 10 days in jail, followed by 30 days of home confinement. He was also ordered to have no contact with the victim. KVNU News Time is 5:06. KVNU weather for tonight, partly cloudy this evening, then mostly cloudy. Areas of smoke this evening, patchy smoke after midnight. Overnight low in the upper 50s, and then a slight chance of rain showers in the morning. Patchy smoke through the day, partly sunny, lower 80s for the high. It's been to 85. It's 85 degrees right now at KVNU. KVNU weather brought to you by Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, Cache Valley's most trusted name in hearing aid technology. Call Dr. Paul Danes at 753-HEAR or visit cachehearing.com.
Want to improve the look and comfort of your home? See all the possibilities at U&I Furniture. Update your mattress and sleep better tonight on a Therapeutic Queen Comfort Top mattress for $4.99. U&I is also a full-line Maloof dealer. Add a Maloof adjustable base, 4 style choices there. In U&I's dining room section, lots of different brands with something always new to see. One popular set with a table and 4 chairs, $649. And for the family or living room, all kinds of fun new sofa loves and sectionals. If it's in stock or it's in the showroom, it's ready to take home. There's always a better buy at U&I Furniture, downtown Logan.
KVNU News Time is 5:07. The Together for Life campaign was recently launched with the goal of raising awareness about wearing a seatbelt. Data shows that in rural areas in Utah and across the country, seatbelt use is lacking, with the result being a higher number of fatalities. On KVNU's For the People program on Monday, Carrie Fuhr, the Occupant Protection Program Manager for the Utah Highway Safety Office, said there is something we can all do about it.
The first step is making sure that you are wearing your seatbelt 100% of the time and everyone in your vehicle buckles up.
Fuhr said in Utah, most adults believe it is important to wear their seatbelt and support law enforcement in mandating it. But despite that, not wearing a seatbelt remains a leading risk factor for death or injury in the state. Also, special emphasis to being safe on the road is given over the summer months in what is known as the 100 Deadliest Days. She said data on how we've done this summer will be released after Labor Day.
But I can tell you the year 2021 and driving behavior has been just unpredictable. We've seen a large number of crashes, far greater than years past, and high speeds, people speeding above 100 miles an hour,
Wow.
And just a lot of risk taking.
Fuhr said it just isn't worth it. Trying to save 1 or 2 seconds by speeding and not buckling up is a dangerous combination that leads to more fatalities. And Idaho Governor Brad Little is calling in 220 medical workers available through federal programs and mobilizing 150 Idaho National Guard soldiers to deal with a surge in unvaccinated COVID-19 patients who are overwhelming the state's hospitals. The Republican governor said Tuesday the moves are a last-ditch effort to avoid activating for the first time statewide crisis standards of care that could force medical professionals to decide who lives and who dies. The last week has seen about 1,000 newly confirmed COVID-19 cases per day, most of them unvaccinated. Little says only 4 intensive care unit beds were available in the entire state on Tuesday. KBNU News Time is 5:10. For more details on these and other stories, visit CacheValleyDaily.com.
Welcome back to Logan, USU students. We hope you love it here and encourage you to support our community by shopping local. An easy way to do this is to pick up a copy of the Best of Northern Utah magazine. This contest recognizes the top 2 businesses in nearly 200 categories, voted on by you, the consumer. It's the contest every business wants to win. Pick up your free copy at a number of locations around town, including Lee's Marketplace, Al's Sporting Goods, Beehive Grill, and Angie's, or go to bestofnorthernutah.com.
Meet me downtown. Meet me in downtown Logan.
Hi, this is Dan Balls of Cache Valley Bank. We love supporting local business and are proud to support the new Center Street Market in downtown Logan every Wednesday during the summer. The market opens at 8 a.m. and all of the merchants will be local businesses from right here in Cache Valley. Cache Valley Bank invites everyone to the Center Street Market in downtown Logan. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Meet me downtown. Meet me in downtown Logan.
At the Boy Scouts of America, our oath remains. A Scout pledges to be kind, helpful, and brave. We're committed to providing a safe and welcoming environment where Scouts can establish the foundations of character that will last a lifetime. Our approach ensures the Boy Scouts of America is building the youth of today into the leaders we'll turn to tomorrow. The Boy Scouts of America. Building character is in our nature. Visit scouting.org to learn more about Scouting.
Feels like Tuesday. Tuesday has no feel.
Welcome back to KVN News for the People. Hour 2 of today's show, Tuesday, August 31st. I feel like I say this every 3-4 weeks, Bill. That month went by fast.
Last day today, yeah.
That's right. Today's show going by fast, and we've got a lot to pack into hour 2 here, so we'll jump right back into it. We have been getting to these candidates in various municipal races as quickly as we can, and happy to say we are sort of dotting the I and crossing the T today on Logan Municipal Council races. Maybe I should just leave, Amy, and you take it from here. Amy Anderson, current Logan City Council current Logan City Council member and candidate for re-election in the municipal races this year. Amy, a pleasure to have you in the studio. Thanks for joining us. And same question I've started with each candidate, just to keep things fair. But what made you decide to put your name down on the line and run again?
That is a great question.
It's easier said than done, right?
Yeah, it is. I think, when I ran 4 years ago, I don't know that the reason has actually changed that much. But to me, I feel that, as a citizen, we have rights and we have responsibilities, and we have the right to vote, and we have the right to run, and we have the right to many things, but we also have a responsibility to our community. And so to me, this is a way of fulfilling that responsibility. And
what a time. This has been, I've had this conversation with Mayor Dane so many times, every candidate, every council member. I really don't remember a time when there was so much and I mean this in a positive way, although, some of these things are challenges, but there's so much going on for Logan City right now. It's always busy with the Logan City being the largest city in the valley, but it just seems like there's right now a lot of change, some of it by choice, some of it being forced upon the city by growth and by state legislative mandates and all that. But just there is a lot going on.
There is. And I think, some of that, to be honest with you, Jason, I think is intentional on part of city staff, the mayor, and the city council, too, to recognize that we do need to keep moving forward. We do need to keep addressing issues and changes and problems. So it's a mix. You're right. Some of it is thrust upon us, but some of it has been very intentional.
And some of these things are also, 15, 20 years debated at this point, which can sometimes just happen. Takes that long to get things finalized. Is there a particular thing you're really excited about or focused on more than other issues that come up in an at-large district? Everything is kind of in your wheelhouse, right?
Well, I will say, you mentioned that some things take a really long time. I'm actually so excited that I got to come in on the end of the whole library debate. That had been going on for years before my seat on council.
Yeah. Honestly, I can't remember a time in my life when that question wasn't up there for debate.
Yeah, when we moved here, I want to say maybe within the first couple of years that we lived here was the whole should we have a countywide library thing, and that's when I got involved in learning what the Logan Library offered and kind of recognizing that although all of our cities are interconnected, we all have very unique and distinct personalities.
Sure.
But yeah, to be able to be part of that process, I was on the library board for the first 2 years of my term. And so we were sorting through lots of potential options for different locations. And now to have that settle on kind of building in place. They're going to be revealing those plans on Tuesday at our council meeting next week. So I'm excited to get to see those. Since I'm not on the board right now, I haven't seen them either. So I'm excited for that rollout. So that's definitely something that I feel will really a real boon to our community. And so that I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the completion of the Center Block project.
Yeah,
that's been
also a long time in discussion.
Long time since I joined the council. That's been a long time topic. For me, that was particularly challenging because I was chair when the public hearings on the initial proposal came through that included housing and a parking garage. And, there was lots of mixed opinions about that. It was an interesting time to manage the opportunity to let everybody feel that they had a voice in that public forum. I know many people have different opinions on how that went, but to me, I think that really showed how our council and mayor and community work well together. People raised concerns, we listened, we stepped back, we reevaluated, and we came up with a different plan. And I truly believe that had that proposal not been brought forward, a lot of the density housing that we see going up in downtown right now may not have happened.
That's a good point. Logan City, I think this is one of the things Logan City deserves the most kudos for, that back and forth with the public through, the neighborhood council meetings that happen regularly to these oftentimes multiple public forums, and then the willingness of the city to change plans. But that's not easy, right? I know, as a council member, you guys work on this stuff and sort of set these plans in motion with a lot of research of your own. And then when you put it out to the public, if the public says, "Nah, we don't like that," is that frustrating sometimes?
I have learned that the most essential piece of being a council member is to learn to live with discomfort. No matter what decision you make, there are going to be people who think it's the right thing, and there's people who are going to be neutral, and there's going to be people who have a different opinion. I think what I've also come to appreciate, though, is it does feel like after a decision is made and we're moving forward, our community does gel behind it. So while they feel they have that opportunity to give the voice, they also then turn around and back the decision. So I'm looking forward to the Center Block Plaza. I think that will end up being a true gathering place. There was a lot of hesitation when we did the Center Street Improvement District and shut that down. I know many of those businesses were really apprehensive about the impact on what that would mean for them. Would they be able to survive? Where were people going to park? And if you look at the vibrancy of that area right now, I don't know if you've had a chance to go down to the Wednesday market or to some of the Twilight. It is.
It's packed.
Families and older adults and our summer citizens were back there in force this summer. So again, that idea that, yes, some change is always hard. It's always essential. But we do need to keep moving forward. So as I said, I think a lot of these things have been intentional. So building on that Center Block or Center Street project, I think the Center Block is going to be great. So we just need to find someone to buy Plaza 45 and turn that into a phenomenal restaurant for us.
Someone's got to be waiting. Someone's looking at that thing. Someone has to have a plan. Such a great location. I love what's happening with downtown. And I'm saying this all, of course, as not a Logan City resident. I don't get a vote in these elections. I don't get to I mean, I guess I could, but I shouldn't show up at a city council meeting and take up a lot of time voicing my opinion. But I'm excited to see these things happen because Logan has a tendency, as the largest city, it can sometimes set a tone for the valley. But that also presents some unique problems, too, in that Logan is the largest city in the valley. So whether it's the sewer system, there's no other city in the valley that has to run it by so many people, not in city decision-making channels, before infrastructure work is done, for example. But Logan City needs to, in a lot of cases, like, well, we better check in with Nibley, Hiram, Wellsville, College Ward. That presents some unique challenges as well. How do you feel the relationships in the valley are from your time on the council?
You know, there's been some contention. I think to say that that's not been the case would not be a truthful statement. But I think
also bound to happen, right?
Bound to happen. One thing I have really appreciated is the opportunity to participate with the county, you know, on their Envision Cache County plan. They sought out Logan City Council members to be part of that steering group, to interview us, to find out what our perspectives were. I've participated in the countywide planning. They're not seminars, but the events that happen biannually, where we talk as counties about how do we address housing, how do we address economic development. So, you know, each city is going to have its own unique characteristics and the way they want to keep their community looking, and they absolutely have the right to do that. So I really feel like the county is the glue that brings us together, and since our city is the seat where those elected officials are, it gives us great access to go in and talk to them and find out, you know, what their plans are and how we can cooperate.
Coordination going to be so key too, especially as we continue to grow and the boundaries continue to blur. It's our opportunity here to speak with Logan City Council member and candidate for re-election Amy Anderson here in our studio. If you have a question or a comment, you're welcome to throw them out. 753-5868. We'll be back right after this.
Piggy, let me in or I'll blow this building down.
Nice try, Wolfie, but this here building's made from steel.
All right then, here goes. Gosh, that didn't work.
A building from Northern Steel Buildings will keep out the big bad wolf, and they don't break the piggy bank. Visit northernsteelbuildings.com to see their quality work or call 435-677-7300. Northern Steel Buildings. Value from concept to construction.
Hey, it's Al Lewis. It's finally summertime, but if you struggle with CPAP, you might not be getting the sleep you need to get outside and enjoy your favorite summer activities. Fortunately, there's a treatment that will give you the sleep you dream of called Inspire. It works inside your body with just the click of a remote. Learn more at InspireSleep.com. Inspire Sleep Apnea Innovation. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you. And review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
Because of you, I found the resources I needed.
Because of you, I found the right doctor.
Because of you, I'm not alone.
These are words we cherish at the Sarcoma Alliance. Each year, thousands of Americans of all ages are diagnosed with sarcoma, the rare 1% of all cancers. The Sarcoma Alliance is there during their difficult journey, providing education, guidance, and connection. Learn more at sarcomaalliance.org. Sponsored by the Sarcoma Alliance.
Hey there, I'm Lance Bass, and this is Chip. For more than 100 years, American Humane has been on the front lines protecting animals in times of crisis. From Pearl Harbor to 9/11, the California wildfires, and the coronavirus pandemic, American Humane Rescue has provided life-saving assistance for animals in virtually every major national disaster. If you're anything like me, your pets mean the world to you. And if disaster strikes, you want to keep them safe. To prepare for an oncoming disaster, ensure your pet has secure and up-to-date identification. And if you must evacuate, remember to take your disaster preparedness kit with you. To learn more about disaster planning and how to keep your best friends safe, please visit AmericanHumane.org.
Welcome back to KVN News for the People. Amy Anderson, Logan City Council member and candidate for re-election, our guest here in studio, kicking off hour 2 of today's show. If you have a question or comment, 753-5868. You can find Amy online, the Facebook group for her campaign, and some great updates on just Logan City Council work in general is Amy Anderson Serving Logan City Council. I've linked to that on our Facebook page, but you can simply search for that on Facebook, find it easily. There are ways to contact her there. She's listed a phone number, email address. You can send messages through the Facebook group and more. And just some, again, really useful updates on Logan City work in general, but also how to connect with the candidates.
And that's an open group. It's just a page. You don't have to ask to be invited. Anyone can view it. Anyone can participate in it.
Oh, very nice.
As a city council member, that's an important thing to me, that people be able to express themselves. And anyway, so
I like that.
Yeah.
This is Amy. You come at this. Again, you're the incumbent here, so you have a lot of experience on the city council. That can probably help inform your answer here. But you came at this originally with a very unique skill set, a unique professional background, and something that here in Cache Valley especially is really needed, representing a voice that's really needed in that respect. Can you talk a little bit about that? It's not something that gets, in my opinion, the spotlight it deserves.
So I think you're talking about the fact that I work with an older adult population.
Sure. And oftentimes they're just sort of pushed aside through all this.
Yeah, and to me, that is the most important group that we can learn from, that we can support. They're the individuals who raised us, who raised our parents, who built the canals here in Cache County, who farmed, who, built up all the wonderful small businesses that exist. You think about shopping at the Sportsman and eating at the Bluebird. These are the people who were the waiters and the waitresses and the store clerks and all of those things, the milkmen, the mailmen. I mean, their stories and the ability to be able to interact with them has just been pretty fabulous. And I think some of how that's influenced what I've done, at one point in time, people are probably aware that we rezoned 600 West and 200 North to allow a mixed-use project. And part of what excited me about that is just our involvement with Wasatch Group as supporters of Sunshine Terrace was encouraging them that, yes, senior housing and subsidized senior housing is a real need in our community. And I'm just very excited that that housing is going to be coming on in the next phase because, it is a group. And, I know I'm at that age now, too, where it's like, I don't know that I want a big house anymore. I'm ready to downsize. So to have a place that people can live and have a sense of community, I think is going to be really important.
And this is a very large percentage of our population here in Cache Valley. People don't realize that, though, right?
Right.
You and I have talked about that before.
Yeah, we have.
In other interviews, and so that's how I know that. But it is important to have that voice, I think, represented. Are there examples you can think of as when that professional experience has influenced a vote or an opinion on an issue?
I think the fact that I am willing to listen and learn from other people that may come from a different generation or a different background or a different faith has allowed me to take that same thing to decisions at the council level. So just that ability to be a servant leader. And I think that's one of the things I brought with me in my campaign before and in my service now is that, not only working at Sunshine Terrace, but I've been very involved in a lot of community organizations in the time that we've lived here in Cache County. As I said, I feel like that's a responsibility as a citizen to get involved, to make your community the best it can be. And so those experiences have also influenced the role I've taken on council, working with the Loaves and Fishes community meal, where we've dealt with individuals who may be in food poverty or lonely. That one of the things I did as chair also was to make the Homeless Coordinating Council a council appointed position. So I've been able to serve on that this year because that is a big issue for our community, and our council needed to have somebody who represented that, not just other community organizations.
Sure. It's definitely a unique perspective, and over the years, I appreciate some of the things I've learned from you and from guests you've sent my way, even when it comes to caregiving, when it comes to, but yeah, it's something, it's really easy for the rest of us to take that for granted, you know? And as we near that age, it gets harder to take for granted. Further we are from that age, the easier it is to take for granted. So
That's true.
Appreciate your voice there. It's probably the biggest issue facing Logan City, and it has, you know, tentacles out into every other issue in one way or another. But growth is kind of the thing right now. A lot of people coming, or should we say, a lot of people staying, being born here and staying. Logan City not completely built out, but more so than a lot of other cities, space more limited. Eventually, you know, we'll be talking about going up as opposed to out. What do you see the next 5 years like in Logan when it comes to housing, roads, where we're living, where we're shopping, all of that?
Well, I'm hoping that we'll see the fruits of some of the things that have happened over the last few years. People may not, we all have short memories, but they may remember that we did rezone downtown to a Town Center 1 and a Town Center 2 designation so that we could encourage denser housing in that area. As I already mentioned, we rezoned 600 West and 2nd North so that could have additional housing. The south edge of Logan, where areas have come into our city and have been zoned multifamily. So I think Logan has been doing a great job. I think one of the statistics that I'm familiar with is part of our moderate income housing plan that we adopted a couple of years ago is, you know, over the previous decade, we had an 11% increase in housing stock in Logan. Oh, wow. And I think people don't recognize that because, like you said, you think, oh, Logan's landlocked, but our growth to the west, our growth to the south, and that densification of downtown. You know, we've got a project coming in on 3rd South and 1st West that was just recently rezoned as a mixed-use project. I'm still hopefully waiting for the Garf Gardens project to get going. That was a cooperative effort with council and planning and that original developer to create a project for that Town Center 1 zone, but then adding townhomes along First East to bridge into the local neighborhood. So yes, we have some challenges ahead of us, but I think over the last few years we have put some of the building blocks in place that will allow that densification to occur. Because ultimately, I do think the city is the city, the county is the county, and that is true. It brings unique challenges to Logan, but I don't think we've been sitting still and waiting. I think we have prepared and planned for it. I mean, I want to say there's going to be 700 new units coming on, between a few months ago and over the next 18 months, if everything that has come through Planning Commission and City Council actually gets constructed. So we're working on it. But yeah, growth is a challenge. I think Main Street, Valley View Highway, 4th North, those are all challenges because they're UDOT streets. So our ability...
And yet the main... veins of traffic, right?
Yeah, and when you see the growth that's occurring in, I don't know if you've driven up into Hyde Park lately, but oh my gosh, all of that development and all of that naturally funnels through Logan as people head south out of the valley. So looking at how to use other roads like 600 West and 10th West and we've had conversations, I know, with David Zook at the county level about what other additional kind of bypass routes do we need to put into place to keep traffic moving around. One of my favorite sayings lately comes from one of our Logan City staff members where she says, when people complain about traffic, she says, you are traffic. If you are in traffic, it's not that you're in traffic, you are traffic.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, so I would love to see us over the next few years really kind of educate people on what can you do to minimize your role in traffic. Cache Valley Transit has done a great job with putting in the loops to get students around.
Those buses are packed.
They're packed.
Those loop buses, yeah. I saw one just the other day.
Yeah, I've started taking the bus a little bit because we moved into an area where I can walk across the street and pick up the bus, so if I don't need my vehicle for work. So those are all things I think we have a responsibility to be good community members. We all need to look at some of those things too and say, what can I do to not be traffic?
I love that. You are traffic. Hey, will you write that down for me, Bill? I need to remember that.
You can credit Emily Malik for that.
Emily Malik. Of course, she'd be behind that troublemaker. No, I
love
that.
The show.
I love that. Yeah, good friend of the show. I love that. You are traffic. That's so perfect. Amy, it's been a pleasure. Again, hats off to you and to everyone who filed to run. It's not an easy time to do so. It's a lot going on in Logan City, a lot of challenges you'll be facing. Well, happy campaigning to you as you're out there.
Thank you. And I really do mean it when I say to people, please email me, please call me. That has been one of the greatest frustrations, I think, as a council member is people do not take advantage of how accessible all five council members are. And, when issues are important to you, please let us know. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. Honestly, if they return my phone calls, they'll return yours. Trust me on that. Amy Anderson, candidate for Logan City Council and an incumbent in this race, running for re-election in the municipal races this year. You can find her online. Amy Anderson Serving Logan City Council is the Facebook page, and I've linked to that on our own if you'd like to find it there later. Email addresses, phone numbers, you can send a message there directly. Also, a list of events, things like that. There are candidate forums coming up September 8th at the Logan City Council. That's right. This is happening in the council chambers, right? Okay, I had to double check that. September 8th in Logan Council Chambers, there is a candidate forum with in-person and virtual options. And then again, on October 6th, the same thing. Candidate forum there at the Logan Council Chambers and plenty of opportunity. By the way, September 8th, it's hosted by the Bridgerland Audubon Society. I thought that was very cool that they're doing that. And then they've invited just plain old me to moderate the October 6th one. So,
well, we appreciate everything that you and the station do in terms of getting news out to our community. So thanks for bringing all of us in, and thanks for the good work you do for us too.
Well, we're glad to be here doing it, and honestly, all the kudos go to the candidates, to people who've filed to run, who are out there putting themselves on the line in public service, especially with all the challenges coming for the Valley. Hats off to you for filing for re-election, and happy campaigning to you. For listeners, again, if you'd like to get in touch with Amy, I've linked to her campaign Facebook page, or you can simply search on Facebook for Amy Anderson Serving Logan City Council. You'll find it that way as well. And Amy, one more time, thanks to you. Listeners, thanks to you for tuning in. We'll be back after these headlines with KVNU's Bill Walter.
Thank you, Jason. KVNU News Time is 5:37. The news is brought to you by Mount Logan Laundry. Local officials announced this afternoon that Logan Regional Hospital had reached 100% capacity in many of its nursing units as local doctors are dealing with the current surge of coronavirus patients. The joint message came as the hospital and Bear River Health Department officials pleaded for residents to get vaccinated and wear a mask. Tacky May, the Logan Regional Hospital medical director, said the situation is dire and means that if there are urgent cases, there is nowhere for them to go at the hospital and even less ability to transfer them outside of the hospital, as most facilities in the state are in a similar situation. She went on to say the past 18 months have been exhausting for our caregivers, and this pandemic has taken a huge toll on everyone mentally and emotionally. The path to healing for the mental health is the ending of the pandemic. Administrators report the hospital does not have open beds in their intensive care unit and medical nursing unit. The emergency department is consistently treating over 100 patients in a 24-hour period, up 33% from normal volumes, and in the last 24 hours treated well over 100 patients, 25% of whom required admission to the hospital. 40% of patients in the ICU and medical unit are COVID positive, and 95% of the 95% of the COVID-19 patients have not been fully vaccinated. The announcement advised individuals seeking emergency services not to delay care. Health care resources include telehealth, urgent care, and emergency medicine, and those were recommended as possible hospital alternatives. Hospital and Bear River Health officials once again pleaded with the community to get vaccinated. Also, stay home if you're sick, get tested if you are symptomatic, wear a mask, and do whatever else is possible to prevent further spread of COVID-19. COVID-19. A trial has been scheduled for a 63-year-old man suspected of sexually abusing a child more than 10 years ago. Otto Dewey Kennedy has been in the Cache County Jail since being arrested in October 2020. Kennedy participated in a virtual hearing in First District Court Monday afternoon, appearing by web conference. He was previously charged with 7 counts of aggravated sexual abuse of a child, a first-degree felony. Public Defender Mike McGinnis asked the court for the 4-day jury trial after previous attempts to reach a plea deal failed. The trial was set for February 1st and 1st through the 4th. And members of the faith widely known as the Mormon Church remain deeply divided on vaccines and mask wearing despite consistent guidelines from church leaders. Members who support the stance say they fear some Latter-day Saints who refuse to get vaccinated are allowing their political views to supersede their loyalty to a faith that largely prioritizes unity and obedience. Other church members are upset that their leaders are not letting them exercise their own personal decision-making about vaccines and masks. The Utah-based religion of 16 million members worldwide is one of many faiths grappling with how best to navigate the lingering impacts of the pandemic. KVNU News Time is 5:41.
Oh, we live in a great area. Are you just back from a camping trip? Don't take your sleeping bags to the dry cleaner. Come to Mount Logan Laundry. For just a few quarters, our 55 or 80-pound washers and 80-pound dryers will have those bags clean for your next trip. Mount Logan Laundry has free Wi-Fi and drop-off service, plus they're open until midnight. Mount Logan Laundry really is the cleanest spot in town. Find them at 5th East and 9th North in Logan or in Brigham City on the corner of 1st East and 7th South. Mount Logan Laundry.
KVNU weather for tonight, partly cloudy this evening, then mostly cloudy. Areas of smoke this evening, then patchy smoke after midnight, low in the upper 50s. Slight chance of rain showers Wednesday morning, patchy smoke through the day, partly sunny, high in the lower 80s. And then sunny, lower 80s on Thursday. Another slight chance of showers on Thursday night. It's 88. That's the warmest it's been, 88 degrees right now at KVNU. KVNU weather brought to you by the Duct Hunter. Does the duct cleaning coupon in the mail seem too good to be true? Sometimes it is. Call the Duct Hunter at 770-4813 before you fall for an offer in the mail. For more details on these and other stories, visit CacheValleyDaily.com.
Attention homeowners, you may have noticed the ground shift after your foundation has been poured, causing your house to sink or settle. Protect your investment from issues before they happen. Polylift concrete raising and piering will stabilize, lift, and eliminate further settling by using Magnum piering products to save you big money down the road. Polylift concrete raising and piering are the foundation lifting experts. Visit poly-lift.com to schedule your free assessment or call or text 435-999-9309. Polylift is locally owned and operated.
Adams Wealth Advisors is the gold winner for financial planning in the Best of Northern Utah competition. Thank you for your vote. Putting clients first under any circumstance will bring peace of mind when working with Adams Wealth Advisors.
This is Craig Adams. At Adams Wealth Advisors, we are here to help you receive peace of mind whether you've done a lot of planning or a little planning. Count on our team at Adams Wealth Advisors for honesty, professionalism, and integrity.
Visit AdamsWealthAdvisors.com or call 752-1702 to schedule a time with an advisor today. Please see AdamsWealthAdvisors.com for more information on these recent awards.
This Tuesday, April Davis will change the world. She doesn't know that yet. All she knows is that she went to JustServe.org and volunteered an hour of her time. Browsing through dozens of service opportunities in her community, April decided to spend her Tuesday evening serving dinner to mothers and their children at a transitional house. She doesn't know she'll be serving a particular mother and daughter who will be spending their first night in this home. April doesn't know that the hot meal she'll serve is the first this mother and daughter will have had in a week, or that the simple smile she'll offer as she serves them will help them realize that things are going to be all right. Which is why this Tuesday, April Davis will change the world. See the difference you can make. Sign up for service opportunities in your community. Visit JustServe.org. JustServe.org is provided as a service by The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
What's your favorite high school sports memory? A late inning rally? A game-winning shot? A photo finish? Maybe it's a pep rally or a pregame ritual. Maybe it's the euphoria of a late-night bus ride home after a hard-fought win. Maybe it's having pizza with teammates after the game. Now, imagine if it never happened at all. School sports need your help. With budgets getting tighter, it's more than the games that are on the line. It's all the traditions, the community pride, the culture of your hometown high school. Plus, all those memories that are on the line, too. What can you do? It's simple. Buy a ticket when you can. Go to a game. Take the whole family. Let's do everything we can to keep those cherished school sports memories alive.
This message presented by the Utah High School Activities Association and the Utah Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Hi, I'm Carson Kressley. Of all the resources in the world, kindness is the most precious. For more than 140 years, American Humane has been working to protect animals in disasters, on farms, on the silver screen, and in zoos and aquariums caring for the world's vanishing creatures. You can help too by making humane choices every day. Visit AmericanHumane.org for simple ways to build a more caring and compassionate world for all of us.
Welcome back to KVN News for the People. Thanks again to Amy Anderson, candidate for re-election here in the municipal races in Logan City. And that means we've now, at this point, spoken with each and every candidate for municipal races in Logan City, from the Logan City Council candidates to the mayoral race. But now we'll just kind of reset it and go back to it, get back to those mayoral candidates and more. If you're just tuning in and you missed Amy Anderson, of course, you can listen to the podcast, either listening right there at our webpage, kvnutalk.com, or if you use a subscription service through, with your cell phone, you can subscribe to the For the People podcast via the Podcastix service. Just on the Podcastix website, search for KVN News for the People. You'll find it. Hit that subscribe button, and that is usually up by the following morning. And Bill, I caught this as I was, so when I have guests here in the studio, I often follow them out into the hall to chat a bit and thank them for coming down. And I caught, just as you were going into the news there, the statement from who was that at the Logan City Hospital?
I don't know how to, we don't have a pronunciation guide with the story. I'm not sure how you pronounce her name, so I hope I got it somewhere.
Hope we got it right.
Yeah.
That is Taki May, I'm guessing. Logan Regional Hospital Medical Director. There's no other way to put this, Bill. Like, this is pretty serious news, right? This is...
Yeah, I mean, I don't recall,
that's what I was trying to think
year
of.
at the peak when things were going crazy before, like I guess around this time last year.
Yeah, it was
I don't
September
recall
when
hearing,
things started to ramp up.
Yeah, I don't recall hearing that Logan Regional was at capacity then. I have to go back and check the archives, but
yeah, I can't.
Yeah, pretty bad situation.
I was trying to recall myself, but the statement from the medical director at Logan Regional Hospital, it just reads like this: the situation is dire, and means if there are urgent cases, there is nowhere for them to go at our hospital. Even less ability to transfer them outside of our hospital, as most facilities in the state are also in a similar situation. I did happen to see a similar thing in the Weber County area, Weber County Health Department, putting out a statement, I believe yesterday, maybe it was over the weekend, that they're kind of in a similar situation where they're, so basically Weber County South, there are no ICU beds. So, yeah, this is a pretty big deal. And I don't remember ever seeing a statement like this from anyone at Logan Regional Hospital, but that's the official word today. Logan Regional Hospital reaches full capacity as local COVID cases continue to surge. Story about that at cachevalleydaily.com, and we'll be back with more of For the People right after this.
With pain, sleep, or anxiety? Want better health? Try CBD7, the CBD experts. You simply can't get this water-soluble CBD at grocery, convenience, or health food stores. Water-soluble CBD7 absorbs 15 times better and tastes great. CBD7 has the only clinically proven formula with real measurable results. Many feel better in minutes. CBD7 is not a drug and has no side effects. Other CBDs just can't do all that. Visit CBD7 today. Learn about CBD and try our best for free.
Hi, this is Drew Allen with Allen Mortuaries. Over the years, thousands of families have planned ahead with Allen Mortuaries. Planning ahead helps you make informed and thoughtful decisions. It also spares your family the stress of making these decisions under the pressure of time and strong emotions. Allen Mortuaries' secure pre-need trust plan can save you nearly 40% versus other plans. Keep it simple, safe, and secure. Go with the proven choice, Allen Mortuaries. Voted best funeral home in Cache Valley in northern Utah. Allen Mortuaries. Then, now, always.
If you think it's expensive to hire a professional, just wait until you hire an amateur.
Why the heck is the roof leaking? Larry, you said you got it fixed.
I thought it was fixed, Donna. Everything was fine until it started raining.
Larry, that's the point of fixing the roof, is so we can actually live here when it's stormy outside.
This is David with Roof Rescue. Our experienced roofing team is tried and true and will fix your roof guaranteed. Visit roofrescueusa.com to schedule your free roof inspection. Roof Rescue, providing watertight peace of mind.
Coming up on the Wednesday edition of the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, the one and only Glenn Beck will be with us, syndicated radio host, founder of theblaze.com. He has saved thousands of Christians from Afghanistan as part of his Nazarene project. Plus, Clay, what do you got?
Well, we got so much of the fallout of Afghanistan, President Biden addressing the nation. Do we buy into any of the spin that he tried to put on this disaster? And more COVID madness. It'll be the Wednesday edition of the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show. Come hang with us.
This is Sheriff Chad Jensen. OHVs are a lot of fun, but they also come with a lot of responsibility. Please make sure you are familiar with Utah State Code as well as your local ordinances before you head onto the roadways or head up into the canyons. You may notice more deputies in the canyon areas. Our traffic unit will be out ensuring that everyone is following the regulations. We want everyone to be safe, have fun, share the roads, share the canyons, and share the trails. Check out our Facebook page for some helpful links to find Utah OHV State Code as well as many of our local city ordinances.
This is Police Chief Gary Jensen from Logan City Police Department. A number of scams are occurring throughout our city and county. These scams are highly emotional and demand immediacy that you pay, and you pay now. They will say they are from the IRS, the Sheriff's Office, the Police Department, utility companies, medical facilities, or even romance scams. Slow down and diffuse by asking questions. Be careful. Hang up the phone call is the best thing that you can do, and don't become a victim.
Utah is in extreme drought. Reservoir levels are low, and wildfire risk is dangerously high. We don't know how long this drought will last, so we all need to do our part to save water. Reduce lawn watering to no more than twice a week for northern Utah and 3 times a week for southern Utah. Your lawn won't look lush and green, but grass is resilient and will bounce back when conditions improve. Prioritize your watering to focus on trees and shrubs. Check with your local water provider for possible restrictions in your area. For more information, visit slowtheflow.org.
Welcome back to KVN News for the People. Just wrapping things up here on the show today with a bit of a potpourri. We had some great questions come in from listeners about how things were going at USU involving the virtual roller coasters. I'd mentioned this just briefly on Friday's show last week. This is going to be happening over the weekend, and apparently this caught a lot of intrigue and attention from our listeners, and people just wanted to know how it went. I've linked to there's actually a recap of this at USU's own news site, and the USU Statesman student journalists did a little bit of a thing in advance way back in July. So you can read both of those. I've linked to them on our Facebook page. But it was really, it's a fun thing to read about. It's now done. And to be honest with you, there wasn't much to actually see in the first place. But for those who missed the discussion on Friday, so a USU engineering student took some really cool 3D mapping and virtual simulation grafting, they call it, devices and software, and using his education as an engineer and requirement for, I don't know if this is a class or a longer project he's working on, but through the university got approval to do a bit of a project involving roller coasters, but using Old Main Hill. And so these were virtual. Nothing was actually constructed. As I understand it, he did have to go out and place some equipment in key spaces on the hill and things like that. And then he virtually built, using this 3D software, virtually built 3 different roller coasters. And the idea behind this is basically trying to determine which roller coaster would be the best one to build on a hill as steep as Old Main Hill. And so he did these 3 different simulations. One was an old school wooden track, what they call a gravity-driven roller coaster. This is a roller coaster that is, basically yanked to the top of a big hill, usually on a chain of some kind or a track. And then once it rounds the hill, it's released from the chain and the track. And after that, it's purely gravity and basic physics driving this thing around. This old wooden track. Lagoon's old wooden roller coaster works this way. Although Lagoon's does have what they call now I forget the word for this. I used to know this word. But there's basically this tiny little stretch of track on Lagoon's wooden roller coaster where the roller coaster car full of people gets a little boost.
Yeah.
There's a spinning chain there, and it just kind of grabs the bottom of that front car and pulls it a little faster. But many of these old wooden roller coasters have none of that. It's literally, it leaves that top hill, and it's just gravity at that point, the weight of the car, physics in general. And so they have to be perfectly engineered. Otherwise, the car stops out in the middle of nowhere. Everybody has to get out, climb down the ladders to the parking lot, and walk back in.
Which is not
lot less
not real
fun.
Safe and not very fun.
Oh, sure. A lot less fun. So that's kind of cool. The other one that he designed was what they call a suspension car, where the passengers are hanging from the track rather than sitting in a car on the track. The reason for this is you swing a little more, and the curves and loops and things like that whip you around a little bit more, so it feels like there's more going on. And that one, so the wooden roller coaster actually was brought up a fake hill to the top of Old Main Hill and then released. And the goal there was to determine whether Old Main Hill was steep enough to activate and keep in motion an old school gravity-driven wooden track roller coaster. It was, by the way. The second one was a suspended car, newer style, the rounded steel type tracks. And these are often driven by sometimes magnets, sometimes hydraulics, sometimes a slingshot launch, things like that are a part of these. And that one actually went underground, simulated, of course, underground into Old Main Hill and back up. And then the final one, I'm forgetting what this is called, but the final one was what you traditionally see with newer roller coasters. The technology hasn't really changed in a long time, where it's a traditional car, but it's sitting on a track, like if you've gone to Lagoon, like the Colossus ride, big steel track, special attachments, so it basically physically can't come off. And then using a combination of gravity, magnets, loops, and more, they just beat the living daylights out of you for 35 seconds. So we built one of those, too. And so in the end, for listeners who are inquiring, after I brought this up on Friday, in the end, the conclusion of this engineering students' research, at least that our listeners would care about, Old Main Hill would actually make the perfect roller coaster launch hill. There's a couple different ways it can be done. Sometimes you'd have to dig down in the middle of the hill a little bit to create a steeper dive for certain styles of roller coasters, but the old school wooden track would work perfectly off of Old Main Hill. So
they should do it.
Logan City, I don't know what kind of... we should have asked Amy while she was here. County council member, right in the studio. I didn't think to ask. Whatever permitting needs to be greased for this kind of thing, let's make it happen.